بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على محمد النبي الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Today's topic, inshallah, is about the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I start by saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا يغير الله بقوم لا يغير الله ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Allah will not change the state of a nation until people change what within themselves. So, subhanAllah, we have, everyone is worried and concerned about the state of Muslims around the world. But the problem is with the state of Muslims individually, not collectively. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to change the state of the nation until we change ourselves. And we have issues with the smallest of things. And today I'd like to touch up on small things. For example, we're willing to sell our religion for fashion, for just clothes. Yeah? Some of us wants to wear a short that when he stands up, his knee is covered, but the second he sits down, his knee is showing. Or a girl wants to wear the hijab, but she doesn't know what a hijab is. She thinks it's a head cover. A hijab is not a head cover, but it's a full body cover. A hijab is to make sure that the shape of your body is not shown to the people. You are not attractive. You are not attracting the opposite sex as you walk down the street. And for men, being a Muslim doesn't mean grow a beard and wear a abaya, you know, or grow a beard and wear shorts, you know. When you want to walk around as a flag of Islam, just remember that you are a flag of Islam. And you're walking around, everybody can tell you're a Muslim, so you need to make sure that you are presenting Islam in the best manner. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He will not change the state of a nation until we change what is within ourselves. So Prophet ﷺ says, he says to us that Allah's muharramat is like a king's private sanctuary. Every king, Prophet ﷺ says, every king has a private sanctuary. And Allah's private sanctuary is His muharramat, whatever He's made haram on us. And the people who push the boundaries, they're living on the edge. They're living near here or there. Like one of the brothers that I saw the other day. And he's wearing his shorts just on the knee. I said, how do you pray? He said, I unbutton my shorts and I pull them down a little bit. And this way, I pull my undies up. And this way, my undies are covering my belly button. And my pants will cover my knees while I'm praying. So he knows that these pants are not good enough to pray in. He knows that these pants are living on the edge. And that's how we're living Islam. A lot of us are living Islam just barely, you know. And we're only talking about a pair of pants. Maybe another 4-finger length and we're good. So over 4-finger length piece of material, we're selling our deen these days. So Prophet ﷺ continues with the hadith to say that the person who lives on the edge is like a shepherd, and he's got a flock of sheep on his land. But he takes his sheep and he grazes on the edge of his land, close to the land of his neighbor. They're bound to be one of those sheep that crosses over and starts grazing on the neighbor's land. So this is how we're living. We're living so close to the edge that at any time we can cross over into the haram. So the Prophet ﷺ says that the halal is clear and the haram is clear. And between the halal and the haram, there's mutashabihat. There is the suspicious matters. We don't want to live in the suspicious matters, because when we get back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to have an excuse for whatever it is that we've done in this world. And imagine on a day when you face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you try to come up with an excuse, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at you and says, "Kadhabt, you're a liar. You're a liar. You said you loved me. You said you loved the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but you lied." And imagine if he says that to you, that you lied, and over what? 4-finger length piece of material? We couldn't uphold this deen over a pair of pants, or a proper hijab, or a proper piece of clothing. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us this deen to free us from the shackles of the slavery of this world. Do we want to be slaves in this world? Slaves to fashion, slaves to a pair of pants, slaves to new fashion type of clothing. For the women, do you really want to sell your deen and walk around where everyone knows that you're a Muslim, but you're dressed, with your tight clothing and your full makeup, attracting? Because shaitan, subhanallah, shaitan, he plays his tricks on everybody. The Muslim is lowering his gaze from looking at non-Muslims, but now shaitan is targeting him with the Muslims. He sends him some Muslim girls with head cover on. So the reason I'm mentioning this now, most of the topics that I like to talk about is like what's happening today. The things that we're having a problem with today. I like to touch up on subjects that we're having a problem with. And these are things that we're having a problem with. So imagine our brothers and sisters are dying around the world. And here we are, we can't be bothered just buying the proper pants. And the shops don't respect us. You go to the shops, you can't find the 3/4 pants. Why? Because we're happy to buy the half, the one that goes above the knee. But if all of us stop buying the wrong shorts and ask for the right shorts, if they find out there's thousands of people walking into the shop and saying, "Excuse me, do you have shorts longer than these?" Well, they're into business. That's the business they're in, is to make money. And if they find out that you're not going to buy those shorts that they're bringing, and you want different types of shorts, they're going to start bringing them in. Instead of me going buying a full pair of pants and taking it to the tailor to cut it for me, to make it a 3/4 because I can't find anything in the shops. We all need to walk into the shop and say, "Listen, we want these types of shorts. We're not happy with your shorts that you're selling." And subhanAllah, if we can't be a good example for ourselves, for our brothers, for our sisters, what chances does a non-Muslim have? When he looks at us and he sees, this is how it is. He doesn't know what Islam is. When he looks at me, whatever character I am, that's what he thinks Islam is. The way I behave, he thinks that's what Islam is. So we're walking as an Islamic billboard, but giving the wrong example of Islam. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Innama bu'ithtu liyutammima makarim al-akhlaq." I was sent to perfect the good manners. And I love to say this. This is the most beautiful thing. The Prophet ﷺ said, never said in any other sentence, "I was sent to," except he said, "I was sent to perfect the good manners." So imagine, you've got good manners, and that's how everybody that has good manners lives, and then you have Islam. A Muslim should be identified by his manners, not by good manners, because good manners, then you're just another good person. But when you have above good manners, that's when you should be identified as a Muslim. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the closest to me in paradise is the one with the best of good manners. Not the one that prayed all night, not the one that fasted all his life, but the person that has the best of manners. Also, the Prophet ﷺ said that the one with the good manners is equivalent to the one who fasts his days and prays his nights all his life. So you have on one hand very good manners, and on the other hand praying all night and fasting all day. Equivalent. The Prophet ﷺ made that equivalent. So my message is, inshallah, if we want to get this religion fixed, we need to fix ourselves. And we can't fix ourselves if we don't have the knowledge. If we don't know what the Prophet ﷺ used to do, then how are we going to do it? If we can't do the smallest of things, like when we stand in a row in salat, if a person needs to cough, especially now we have flu season, and the Prophet ﷺ taught us, if you want to yawn, cover your mouth with your right hand, or the palm of your right hand, or the back of your left hand. The Prophet ﷺ taught us everything. Everything, so much so that a disbeliever, I can't remember what his name was, he wrote an article and he said, the Muslims have a prophet that taught them how to go to the toilet. That's how much the Prophet ﷺ taught us. He taught us everything that we need to know. But sometimes, whether we don't know or we don't take it seriously, we don't practice it. We need to know what the Prophet ﷺ taught us, and after we know what he taught us, we need to take it seriously. We need to implement it. If we don't implement what the Prophet ﷺ taught us, then what was the point of all of it? I end up with saying that the Prophet ﷺ said, me and you is like a person who lit a fire, and then all these moths start coming to the fire. Then a man comes and he tries to stop everybody from, all these moths from going into the fire, but they insist they want to go into the fire. He said, the man that's stopping the moth is like me, and the moth is like you. You keep wanting to go to the hellfire, and I'm trying to stop you, but you insist. So subhanAllah, if we have belief in our hearts, we need to understand that the Prophet ﷺ was sent to save us from ourselves, because ourselves is going to take us to the hellfire. But we need to be a little bit strong. And the reason I'm mentioning small things like shorts and covering your mouth when you yawn, these little tiny things, is because if we can't perfect these little tiny things, what chances do we have over big things, like controlling our anger and, to be like the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, where Ali radiallahu anhu in one of the battles, he was just about to kill the enemy, and the enemy spits in his face, so he puts his sword and walks away. So the man was shocked. I just spat in his face. So instead of killing me, he walks off. So he ran after him and said, what just happened? He said, before I was fighting you for the sake of Allah, but after you spat in my face, I was so angry, I would have killed you for my sake, because I was angry. And I'm not here to kill you because I'm angry. Look at the difference. Imagine, I just want you to imagine this, like seriously. Imagine you're walking outside and a disbeliever comes and spits in your face, and you just walk off. You have to be at a different level. Like seriously, I don't know how I deal with it, but I tell you, you have to be on a separate level to be able to walk away from somebody who just spat in your face. And that level is the level of the students of the Prophet ﷺ. And to get to that level, we need to take things one step at a time. You need to deal with the small things before you can deal with the big things. Don't ever imagine that you can be up there if you can't cover what's down here. No house gets built without foundation. If you don't dig deep enough, that building will not stand. If your foundation is not strong enough, that building is not going to stand. So if you think you can start from up there, I'll tell you right now, it's not going to happen. These little tiny things that we just take for granted, if we don't cover these little tiny things, it's just not going to happen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم.